You want ice? Oh, sorry. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the first monthly money video of the whole year. So crazy that it is January. Happy New Year to everyone watching. I'm so excited for this video. If you are new, welcome to my monthly sort of budgeting reset, my monthly recap where we talk about what I've spent. Sometimes we talk about what I've earned. We talk about mistakes, lessons learned, just basically everything I've done and felt as it pertains to money throughout the previous month, plus what I have planned for the month coming up. I first off want to thank you guys so much for 40,000 subscribers. I can't believe, I don't know, it's just so exciting. So I want to thank you guys so much to everyone who is subscribed, everyone who just newly subscribed. My video about everything that I have saved, invested, and debt at 26 years old got so many views. I kind of can't believe it. It kind of blows my mind. And that brought in a lot of new subscribers, a lot of new faces. So if that's what brought you here, thank you. If something else brought you here, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you've been around throughout this whole crazy journey of mine, thank you as well. I'm just really happy that you guys are here, that you guys are enjoying these videos. It really means the world to me. And yeah, my goal with these videos is to be a friend as it comes to money, not be someone who tells you what to do or makes you feel bad about yourself. It's really just to be a friend and to know that we are on this journey together. Nothing I say is ever financial advice. I'm mostly just speaking from my own experiences, what I would do in certain situations and what I've done in certain situations. So something that really made me laugh about that last video that I posted, which was everything I had saved, invested, in debt at 26 years old, is I got a lot of comments being like, you talk too much. And it's like, that is the point. The point is that we're chatting. The point is that it's friendly. If you are looking for direct to the point financial advice, someone to tell you what to do, someone who doesn't ramble, someone who doesn't start out her videos with making a coffee, you have come to the wrong place. If you want a quick video, head over to TikTok. I don't know what to tell you, but for those of us who are here to chat, well, welcome. That's exactly what the point is. Just had to get that out of the way. Just had to get that off my chest. So I know this is the first video of the new year, but honestly, you guys, not much is gonna change. We're gonna be following pretty much the same format as we always do. We're gonna talk about what I've spent. In this video, we're gonna talk about what I've earned. We're gonna refill my cash envelopes, talk about what I bought, mistakes, you guys know the drill. I wanted to start out this video though, because it's the first one of the new year, just wishing you guys a happy new year. And also I wanna let you know, today is January 6th and I'm only just sitting down to do my budget. I haven't laid out all of my goals for the new year. I haven't made my vision board for the new year yet. I basically don't have my shit together for the new year yet. And I wanna share that because I've been seeing so much perfect aspirational content lately about the new year, and it even started still in 2022 prepping for the new year, and it can make you kind of feel bad about yourself when you're like, oh my god, everyone has their shit together and I don't have my shit together, what's wrong with me? But just remember that so much of what we see on social media is aspirational content, because that is the content that performs the best, that gets you new viewers, blah, blah, blah. But most of us are just sitting here still trying to get out of that holiday fog, the holiday brain fog, and actually get started with the year. So I am in that boat where I'm just slowly getting my life together. You guys have been seeing it in the vlogs as well, just the little things I'm doing to slowly get my life together. So 2023, I'm not quite ready for you, but I know it's gonna be a great year. And I think when you slowly ease into things, that's how goal setting and healthy habits can be sustainable as well. So that is my little New Year's message. I hope you all have a fantastic new year and a fantastic month of January. Let's get into this monthly money recap for January 2023. Fun fact, you guys, I wore this sweater on purpose today because this is the sweater that I wore in the December monthly money update from last year. So 1 year ago, the video that I filmed about everything that I spent in December, I wore this sweater. I used to call my monthly money videos for the end of the month. So I used to name them with if it was January 1st, let's say, I'd be filming for December because my budgeting style was to always look backwards. I was always doing what I call backwards budgeting, which is just reflecting on what you've spent. And I just want to say, I think that's an amazing first step. Like if you're not in a position yet, if budgeting gives you anxiety, then just reflecting is a wonderful place to start. And I did backwards budgeting for over a year. It took me over a year to get in the habit of looking at what I spent, and like I would be so anxious some months when I would sit down and be like, what did I spend? What did I earn? I would be filled with anxiety. Sometimes I would cry. Like it was not fun. I finally got into a place where now I am doing forwards looking budgeting, which is where instead of looking backwards, it's still important to reflect and look backwards, but you're more so setting parameters for your budget, for your spending for the next month. So that is why they're now called the monthly money for the current month, which I think is a wonderful way to do budgeting. It's given me so much more confidence. And you guys know I have switched recently in October. I switched to a, oh, okay. We're making it rain over here. I've switched to a cash budget. Not even being dramatic, the cash budget has completely changed my life as it pertains to finances. I feel like you guys have seen it in the videos. Those of you who have been along for the ride, along for this journey, you've seen my confidence skyrocket. And I have felt my confidence skyrocket when I switched to this cash budgeting method, because finally I wasn't just looking backwards and feeling guilty about like swiping my card or tapping my card so many times, not having any control over my spending. I also would spend a lot to self-soothe. I think I still do, but it was crazy. And even before I did the reflection budgeting, the backwards budgeting, it was even worse. So it was like this to now it's like this, which is amazing. And that's progress, and progress takes time. But I'm just so grateful for this system. Let's put that back. Anyways, I will have all of my tools linked down below, everything that I do for the cash envelopes, which we will be refilling at the end of this video. I also have this budgeting spreadsheet that right now I just use it for aesthetics, but one of my goals for the new year is to actually use it on the daily. I will have that linked down below too. They are both from The Line, which is my go-to budgeting shop, I guess you could say. So how have I felt about money throughout the month of December? Along with what I was just saying, with my confidence being so much better, my financial anxiety being a lot lower, December was a really good month for me. Again, I didn't perfectly stick to the cash envelopes. I would say the first half of December went really, really well. You guys may have seen my mid-month money check-in, which is where I just checked in with everything throughout the middle of the month. I think that helped a lot. I'm gonna try and do it again this month and film it for you guys. But that definitely helped a lot. So up until that point, I was really sticking to the envelopes, really sticking to my budget. Everything was going great. Even a little bit after that, things continued to go great. Where things kind of broke is when my routine broke and I went home to Ottawa for the holidays. Once I got to Ottawa, I was running a lot of errands for my dad. I was picking up gifts for other people. I was running errands for my mom. And I was just out of my usual routine. I was forgetting my envelopes. I was like, you know, just out of your routine, your habits start to break. And so towards the end of the month, I did not touch my cash envelopes probably for the last 2 weeks of December, which is okay. Like I kind of knew it was gonna happen too, what with the holidays and everything. I had more expensive purchases. Like I didn't really budget for gifts. I was just kind of like, okay, we'll see what I spend, and like next year I'll make a budget for gifts. I'm not there yet. So all of that being said, I definitely didn't stick to my budget. However, I wouldn't call it a fail, because while my life was normal and while my life was routine, my budgeting held up, my system held up, and my habit of using my cash held up. So I'm very happy with how things went in December. I have reviewed my spending and we'll talk about it, and it's not too out of control, like especially if we compare this Christmas time to last year's Christmas time. I think I did really well with sticking to my budget. And at the end of the day, for me, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being like, yes, I hit my budget to the exact dollar amount and I did this, and it's not about being perfect. It's about how I feel. It's I think as a human being on this planet, we just want to be happy and we want to feel good, and financial security makes me feel good. So knowing that I'm doing the right thing makes me feel good, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And so for me, my budgeting and my like financial month, if you will, is a big win, not because I made so much money, not because I spent so little money, not because of anything like that, but because I felt good and I felt confident. That is what would define a win for me. So there we go. See what I mean about rambling, you guys? We're like 10 minutes into this video and I've not said a single dollar amount. And the reason I do this, you guys, is because budgeting is so emotional. For some of us at least, maybe not for some people, but for a lot of us, I think budgeting is so emotional and finances is so emotional. Like how many times do we buy something because we want to feel better, we want to feel a certain way, we feel like it's gonna bring a certain happiness to us, right? Like that's what's so important. So anyway. I also did something crazy this month and I actually like printed out all of my numbers so I could be a little bit more organized, because I know that when I do this and I turn away from the camera to read off of my screen, it's harder for you guys to hear me. So I might be looking down a little bit, but I've printed out all of my numbers for you. And now let's dive into actually talking about numbers. It's not often that I share my income with you guys. I used to when I worked like full-time. I think I was not full-time. When I worked like corporate and I had a steady paycheck, I was more inclined to share my income with you guys because it was fixed and it was everything was the same and that was that. And I could tell you concretely, I made $65,000 a year before taxes. That was my like number. Since being self-employed, I kind of strayed away from that because it just felt weird sharing my numbers because they were always different. For a long time, there were months where it was very low, my income, and I felt not ashamed necessarily to say that I didn't make a lot of money, because that's just life and I don't think that's anything to be ashamed about. But I think I felt ashamed with how expensive my life was compared to how much money I was making, because my rent didn't change from the point where I was working full-time to being self-employed. My rent stayed the same. I had a car, I had like all these new expenses that realistically didn't make sense for the income that I was making, but I knew that I was kind of on this journey and that these lower income months wouldn't last forever, and income fluctuation is a big part of being self-employed, and getting used to that was a journey for me. And now that I can reflect and be like, oh my gosh, I've been self-employed for a whole year now, I feel a lot more confident with that, and I'm so excited to move into the new year with this confidence. But anyways, all that to say, I've decided to share with you guys my income for this month, and it really does make me nervous. Let me just preface this by saying it makes me nervous for a few reasons. The first is that I don't like to share when it's too low, because then people in the comments are like, your rent's too high for how much money you make. And I don't want to share when it's too high because too high. Let's be real, there's no such thing as too high. But I don't want to share when it's high because I don't want anyone to look at that and feel badly about themselves or to compare. But this month I'm so happy, and I think the reason I want to share it is because it helps put the rest of my budget into perspective. And there's also an element of like me being proud and very grateful that my income was higher this month. And I know, anyway, so just take everything with a grain of salt, you guys, and like, please don't compare. Yeah. So I would say I have 3 sources of income. The first is contract work that I do for clients. At the moment, I have 2 clients, with one of them this past month taking up all of my time. Then I have my part-time job at a spin studio, which is like pretty much a fixed paycheck that happens bi-weekly. And then the third source is, I call it YouTube, but realistically it's like social media in general. There were times when copywriting or contract work was a bigger source of income than YouTube. And there are times when YouTube is a bigger source of income than copywriting. This month it was the latter. My YouTube income was quite high. I had a couple of videos perform very, very well, not even including like this most recent one. Like this is videos that performed well in October and November that I'm getting paid for in December. I also had overdue contracts from September and October. October there was none, but I had like these overdue payments that only arrived in the month of December. So that's why like in November, if you guys remember, my income was quite low from YouTube because I was still waiting on those payments. I guess everyone did all of their accounting before the year ended, and I got a ton of payments from various months. So it's not regular that my income would be this high, but I did, you know, get more payments. So I'm so happy and I'm so grateful, and I'm like honestly thrilled that my YouTube income was $6,400. I have never made that much money from YouTube. It feels so weird to say it out loud. I don't even know if I've ever like even really made, like maybe when I was working full time and I had good YouTube months, maybe I would make that much money in a month. So to only earn that from YouTube is fantastic. However, I have to remember that we're not gonna do any lifestyle creep. We are not going to get used to that number because that number will inevitably fluctuate. So while I'm so grateful for it, I'm also needing to be so respectful of it and understand that it'd be wonderful if that number stayed, it'd be wonderful if that number grew, but it's also possible that that number goes back down. So I'm really grateful for that. Now on the copywriting and contracting front, I also had a very busy month with my copywriting client. We were working on a huge project that took up so much time and made me so stressed. But that paycheck was very nice. And this was my second highest paycheck from copywriting ever, which was a little over $1,000. So that is fantastic as well. Now the last source of income is my part-time job, which was $470, which is just fantastic. I love my part-time job so much. I can't recommend enough. Anyone who's thinking about getting a part-time job, like do it. It feels like free money to me because I love going to work. It's just like fun. And when I go to work, I tell myself that I'm volunteering. I tell myself that I'm volunteering, and then when I get paid, it's like a nice surprise. And this money goes directly into my 1 month ahead savings account. So all in all, I made about $8,000 before taxes. Very important to say that this is before taxes. So I have to send a big chunk of this away for savings for taxes because when you're self-employed, your taxes don't come off automatically. I live in Canada where taxes are very high. So yeah, but I'm just so grateful for that. And like a big part of me being able to earn more through YouTube is because of you guys who watch and support my channel. So I can't thank you enough. The feeling of being able to earn money from something that you love is just mind-blowing. So truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your support. It really means the world to me. All right, let's talk about spending. This is the juicy stuff. So I tried to spend, like I said, I tried to spend mostly on cash at the beginning of the month. Let's talk about cash first. So what I did was I wrote out on Excel all of my cash envelope categories. I wrote out the budgeted amount, how much was left. So when I sat down I did this about a week ago, maybe just a couple days ago. I had to empty out my envelopes and see what was left, which then gives me the total of what I spent. So let's run through it really quick by category. Groceries, I budgeted $400. I had $63 left, which means I spent $336. For my home category, I budgeted $50. I had $50 left, which means that I spent $0. However, I did buy some home stuff on credit. Business expenses. So this is a smaller category. This is business expenses specifically for going to a cafe and getting work done at a cafe, or buying lunch out like while I'm doing like vlogging, or if I'm going to a cafe to do writing, like stuff like that. It's not for if my computer breaks, God forbid, and I need to buy a new computer. It's not for that. So the budgeted amount was $40. I had $32 left, which means I spent $8, which is like probably one coffee, which is insane. Coffee, this is my like personal coffee envelope. I give myself $40 a month, which is about $10 a week. And I only had $10 left, so I spent $30, which is pretty good. Transportation, this is my like worst category. I freaking hate this category because I hate coming face to face with how much I spend on transportation. And so this is not gas. I don't include gas in this because gas is just a whole other story. This is public transit. So I budgeted $30 and I had $3 left. So I spent $27 on public transit. Maggie is my dog. I budgeted $50. I had $0 left. So I spent $50. Personal care. This doesn't make any sense. I budgeted $30, but I had $40 left in that envelope. How? Okay. Dining out, I had budgeted very high this month because I was expecting around the holidays to be going out quite a bit. I budgeted $225 and I had $150 left, which means I only spent $75 on dining out. I know that there was a few instances where I just ended up putting it on credit, like while I was in Ottawa, but I also got sick over the holidays, which had me in bed, which means that I wasn't going out and spending money. So I guess that worked out. Treat yourself, I budgeted $80. I had $10 left, which means I spent $70. This was on some Amazon nail kits. best $70 I ever spent, because with the stuff that I bought on Amazon for $70, I did my nails twice, I did my sister's nails, and I did my stepmom's nails. So that $70 went to me twice. So went to 4 manicures, which if you added all of those up at $50 would have been $200. So that is just crazy. Like, doing your nails at home is my ultimate budgeting hack. Like, if you're like, Zoe, what's your #1 budgeting trick? Do your nails at home. Do them at home. Gifts, I budgeted 40. I had 0 left, so I spent the exact budgeted 40. So my total budget for cash was $985. I had 360 left, which means that I spent about $325. No, what? Which means that I spent about $625. So pretty good, but then again, we know that I did spend a lot on credit towards the end of the month. So let's dive into that. Okay, my American Express. What I'm going to do, rather than list you guys like all of my purchases like I used to do, I'm just gonna tell you some of my notable purchases, which are either bigger things or things that I like learned a lesson about that I wanna talk about. So on Amex, my notable purchases was Amazon, which was that nail kit that I said for $70. But what I did was, because I bought it on Amazon with my credit card, because you can't pay cash on Amazon, I took the $70 out of my cash envelope, so I know I can't spend it, and I put it into the dedicated spent on credit envelope, so that I know that this is gonna go straight back to the bank to pay off my credit card. So that's what I call cash reconciled, and this was cash reconciled. The next thing was I spent $220 on my Christmas gift for JS. I bought him like a coffee kit and like a few things, all coffee related. So that was like one lump sum purchase for $220. I spent $160 on therapy. That's my like 1 monthly therapy call. It's expensive, but hey, it's necessary. I spent $100 on some skincare stuff. So this was not budgeted for, but it was necessary and so worth it. I spent $75 at H&M. I bought a sweater and a purse, which both of them were on sale. It was a good deal. No, I didn't budget for it, but it's okay. I'm really happy with that purchase. So there you go. This next one is embarrassing, you guys. I spent $37 at this club in Montreal called Bordel, which was for 2 drinks. 2 drinks! 2 like vodka cranberries for $40. I think a big piece of ice just fell off my roof because there was like this crack noise. Yeah, two vodka cranberries for $40. This is why I don't leave my house. This is why I don't go out anymore, because it is just ridiculous. I literally feel like I got shammed, but whatever. Then I spent $47 on a Pila phone case, which I bought for my sister for her birthday. My total bill on Amex, so obviously not just this, there were some other things as well that are just boring and I'm not gonna mention them, but my American Express total was $1,226. Then I also have a MasterCard. The reason I have 2 credit cards is because with Amex, you can get a lot of points. There's a lot of perks to being a like member with American Express. It's my preferred credit card to use. However, there are a lot of places that don't accept American Express, so that's when I use my MasterCard. So the notable purchases, I spent $60 at Bars and Wheels, which is a spin studio in Ottawa. I bought like an intro pack, of classes. I ended up only going 3 times because I got sick, which really sucked. I feel like I didn't get my money's worth out of this pass. So each spin class came out to about $20. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but what can you do? I spent $30 on bagels. This was for Christmas morning. I got like bagels and cream cheese and what else did I get? Anyway, that was at Kettleman's, so there you go. $140 on PayBright, which is the monthly payment for my laptop because I financed it about a year ago. So yeah, we're almost done though. I'm so excited. Every month I say this, I'm like, we're almost done, we're almost done. So excited to have that fully paid off. It's just gonna feel so good. I spent $160 at the vet for my dog. She is okay. $30 at the bakery. This was getting like some desserts and stuff for a Christmas dinner that I hosted with my boyfriend. I spent $40 on a gift for my friend, but this was also cash reconciled. And I spent $140 to rent skis for the ski season. So that was $140. So my MasterCard total was $841. This is really good. Like whenever my credit card bill is less than $1,000, I'm so happy because the old me, the me from a year ago, always had a credit card bill that was in the 4 digits. Like both of my credit card bills would always be over $1,000. Sometimes they would even be like $2,000. They would always be like so high. My Amex was always like $1,600, $1,700, $1,800. So that, like, yes, it's still a lot of money, but the fact that they're going down is what's like just such a relief, so important. So yeah, that's my totals for December. So the total on credit was $2,067 compared to $625 on cash. My absolute total spending for the month of December was $2,693.61. Not bad, not bad at all. Oh, and you guys, of course, this doesn't include my rent, my car payments, my hydro, doesn't include all of that. Those total up to $2,000, which means, so fixed expenses, $2,000, total spending, $2,600, let's say 27 if we round up. So my income minus all of my expenses, both fixed and variable, the final, like what's left for me is insane because I've never had this much money left over, ever, never, ever in a month have I had this much money left over, $3,300. Incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm so grateful for it. It means that I can get 1 month ahead. It means that I can contribute to my emergency fund. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with this money. I need to kind of reflect on it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I've not yet set my financial goals for the new year. So I feel like I'm just gonna leave the money in my account for now. Once I sort of solidify my goals, which I'm hoping to do like this weekend or in the next couple of days, I'm gonna do it and you guys will be the first to know once I do. But once I solidify those goals, I'll be able to put the money in the according place because I don't wanna just blindly move money around. I really wanna be intentional with it. Especially like I said, like I'm just so grateful that this month went so well. And so I really wanna be intentional with where I put it and really make it count. So really exciting, feeling so good. That is my spending and earning recap for this video. It's just crazy to me though, that even though I got so organized and I like printed everything out, we're still having a long video. We're still having a long chat. So I know you guys like it. Like there's a part of me that wants to be like really concise and but that's not me. Also, of that $3,000 that's left, $1,000 of it I need to take, and well, I already took because you guys saw it all fall out, but $1,000 of that needs to go to refilling my cash envelopes. What I love about the cash envelope system is that it is your money. It is my money that you are spending. You're not spending it on credit, which is future use money. You're taking from, so like I'm taking directly from my earnings to fill up my envelopes to spend with this month. I have really high hopes for how the cash envelope system is going to go this month because I'm not really foreseeing anything crazy out of, like, I'm not going on any trips. I'm not planning on like spending really time away from Montreal. I'm really foreseeing being very much in my routine. I've been in my routine pretty much since January 1st. I've managed to not really spend any money, which is like pretty good because I didn't have, you know, the cash on me. I only got this yesterday from the bank. So I've really been really good with like managing not to spend too much. So I really foresee like sticking to the method this month. If we jump ahead though to February, I know I'm going to be spending some time in Florida. So I'm going to have to account for that and figure that out when I do my budgeting. That is going to be a challenge, but that is a challenge for future me. Other than that, it's gonna be status quo. So with that being said, let me just set up my little 2-camera system and let's fill up my cash envelopes. You guys can see the time behind me. I just procrastinated like a whole bunch between that last clip and this clip. I don't know what's wrong with me. Again, like just quickly back to the new year, like I'm not super productivity motivated. I just want to chill. Anyways, I've got my big stack of cash that makes me look like a, you know what, dealer. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on camera. Okay, so let's talk about my budget. This was from last month. It was $985. You guys heard all of the category totals earlier. I have decided to up my budget a little bit this month, just in the hopes that it actually keeps me spending more on cash and straying away from cash less. We're gonna do it category by category. So we're gonna start with groceries. My forever My forever easiest category, groceries, is $400. And like you guys recommended, last month I split this in two. So I did like half the month at the beginning, half the month later, to help me control my spending, not seeing as much cash right away, which makes me like spend more because I think I'm rich by looking at all this cash, but also for safety and not carrying that much cash around. So I'm gonna do a 50 on either side, and then 2, 4, 6, 8, 100, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. We can do a full 250s actually, I think, on each side, because usually like I always have a bill that's over 50 bucks at the grocery store. So that's 100, 200, 100, 200. That's $400 for groceries. So 200 goes in this envelope. The other half, the other 200, will go into a different envelope that I will leave at home. Groceries I need to carry with me everywhere because it's my most used category. I tend not to do huge grocery shops, but rather little small ones. It helps me save money that way. So groceries is done. Next up, we have dining out. This one I increased a little bit from $40 a week, which was my previous month's budget that I did for 2 months. It was too high in December. Like, that just doesn't make sense. From $40 a week to $45 a week, just to give me a little extra boost. I don't know, eating out is also like convenient, it's fun. So yeah, I'm gonna up the budget a teensy bit. The total becomes $180, which is $20 more than I normally spend. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 100, 50, 60, 70, 80. So $180 for dining out. The next category is home. I like to just do a $50 bill in here because I try as much as I can not to keep buying stuff for the home. This one is like a vortex and you could just spend, spend, spend. There's always a little trinket or a little organizational hack that you need. So I like to just put a 50 in here to discourage me from spending it. Business expense, we're sticking with $40. Transportation, we're sticking with $30. Coffee is also $40, $10 a week. This one with coffee is one that I really like to spend because it's like, it's fun. It makes me feel so good going out for coffee. Like, yes, it's expensive. Yes, it can be overpriced, but oftentimes you're supporting a small business when you go out for coffee. And it's just really fun. So this one is one that, like, it's nice when there's stuff left in it at the end of the month, but also I like when it's empty because it's like, okay, cool. Like, I went out and had fun. It's nice. Maggie's budget is, I think, the one that I have the hardest time with and the hardest time sticking to, just because she inevitably costs me a lot of money, whether it's a surprise vet visit like last month, or if it's dog care that is like a little bit unpredictable. So I decided to double this one from $50 to $100 because it just seems more in line with what I've been spending. Plus I can save it and save it for the next month if there ever is another vet visit or something like that. There's always something that comes up when you have an animal. So I bumped this one up to 100, which is the biggest increase, I think, and the real reason why I've like surpassed that from $980 to over $1,000. So $100 for Maggie, 2, 4, 6, 8, 100. I have to re-grab this envelope, you guys. I completely forgot that last night I bought dinner and I bought it on cash with the cash that I had taken out. So I have to take out $60 from here because I spent that last night. 2, 4, 6. And I have some change left over that I'll refill in here, but yeah, I have to take that out already and account for that. My personal care, which is like stuff from the pharmacy budget, is $40. This one's also a bit tricky, but you live and learn. Gifts is $40. My last category is treat yourself, which I had budgeted $100 for. I only have $80 in my hand, which means that I'm missing a 20 somewhere. So I'll go review that. But yeah, treat yourself is supposed to be $100. Some people have commented saying that's high. Personally, I don't think it's high. I mean, I usually go over it anyways. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Budget. If you budget for treating yourself, you're allowed to choose whatever number you want. That is the beauty of budgeting. You can do whatever you want. My last two envelopes are spent on credit and savings. Spent on credit is for those cash reconciliations like I talked about earlier in the video, and savings are for at the end of the month, anything that is left over, I put in this account and I put in this envelope, I should say, and I take this envelope to the bank with me to deposit, and then I put that money that I've deposited straight onto my credit card. From last month, I actually have this huge envelope with like a bunch of change and a bunch of stuff, everything that I didn't spend from that cash budget like I talked about. I haven't been able to go into the bank and deposit it yet, so I'm just holding on to it, and hopefully this weekend I can go into a bank and deposit it. Really random side note, I feel like banks are not open convenient hours. Like they're open 9 to 5, but it's like the majority of people are working 9 to 5. So when are we supposed to go to the bank? Like if the bank is open while everyone's at the office or working, so to speak, like when do we go? Because that's why I haven't been yet. I could only go to the ATM to take out because the bank's opening schedule doesn't suit me. So we have all these envelopes of cash. It's super satisfying. I love being able to look at it and seeing that these envelopes are custom made for me. And then I have these two folders. If anyone is new, why do I have two folders? Well, basically the first month I did this, I was carrying around all of my envelopes with me all of the time, which is not really secure. It's not really sustainable. It's not a good idea. Then what I did was I was just leaving the folder at home and grabbing only certain envelopes with me, but that meant that sometimes I was forgetting something, which led to me spending a lot on credit to make up for it and then forgetting to reconcile. So I ended up getting a second folio. I started with the black one, and now I have the white one as well. The white one is the one that I carry around with me every single day. The black one is the one that stays at home. So I have certain envelopes that make sense to come with me all of the time. Let's start with those and we'll refill this folder. So the first one that comes with me all of the time is groceries, but only that half amount, like I said. The next one is dining out, because you never know when you're out and about when you're gonna need a snack. Coffee as well. Transportation I'm gonna bring with me because if I ever need to get on the metro. However, usually I know when I'm gonna be taking the metro, like I have my sort of idea of my day. Actually, this is gonna stay back, this is gonna stay back. Business expenses, I also am able to plan for it, so that can stay back. Home, I try not to spend it, stays back. Maggie, same thing. Personal care, this is kind of hit or miss, but usually I have an idea of when I'm gonna use it, so I'm gonna keep it at home. Gifts, same thing, keeping it at home. And treat yourself, usually this one ends up being cash reconciled because the stuff that I buy is like stuff online, so this can stay at home as well. So that's that for the one that I carry with me. And everything else we will keep at home. All right, you guys, that is a wrap on this video. It was a long one. It was a fun one. I really enjoyed filming it. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be a vlog. And the next money video will either be my financial goals or the things that I am going to not spend money on this year. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss either of those. Let me know in the comments what you are excited for in 2023. You guys can also let me know that OG comment prompt that I used to say, which was your most expensive and your best purchase of the previous month. I would love to know. So with that being said, I love you guys so much. Thank you again for all of your support in 2022, in the past month, for all of the new faces. I just love you guys so much, and I'm so incredibly grateful. So I will shut up. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.